Hi guys, it's Jessica Hayes. This week I thought I would film something a little bit different for you. This has kind of been my go-to makeup all this week. For some reason, I cannot get out of bed. I am hitting that snooze button like it is my best friend. It's really cold here right now, so I just want to stay snuggled in bed. So this is my very quick snooze button makeup that kind of looks like I tried hard enough that I did put in a little bit of effort for work. So keep watching and I will teach you a really quick look that makes you look like you might have put a little bit of effort in as well. So I've already applied this Rodial SPF to my face. This also acts as a moisturizer, so that eliminates one step for me. I'm going to be using my Smith 115 brush to apply my foundation today, in which I'll be using the NYX BB Cream in Nude. The reason why I'm using this brush instead is, honestly, if you want to know how lazy I am and how much I hit that snooze button, I don't have time to run to the bathroom to wet my beauty blender, so I just end up using a brush that I don't have to wet. And this just applies the foundation really good as well. So buff that all over the skin. I really like this foundation, especially for a drugstore foundation. I use it quite a lot for when I just want a quick but not too heavy coverage, just to even out the skin tone. Next, I'm going to apply the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer around the eye area. And I'm just gonna pat that in with my finger. So because that concealer is quite light for me around the eyes, it's not really good to cover up blemishes. This is a trick that I've kind of wanted to teach you guys for a while. Some of you might already do it. I kind of discovered it when I was on vacation without any concealer. When you have a foundation that has a pump on it, after you pump it out, a little bit of the foundation kind of gets around this and it almost congeals around the opening. And honestly, it is some of the best concealer that I've used because it's dried and evaporated. It's a little bit thicker, and I just kind of wipe that off and dab it over the spots. And then it makes for the perfect colored concealer because it matches your foundation. Obviously, if your foundation has been sitting there for a really long time and that goopy area is really old, then don't use it. That's just common sense, but that is a pretty good beauty hack that I learned on vacation. I'm just gonna run my foundation brush just lightly over the underneath of my eyes, just because they are looking a little bit bright and highlighted. So today I'm going to be skipping an eye primer. If you've got time for it, go ahead and do it. But the concealer on the top of the lid kind of acts as an eye primer as well. For eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this Urban Decay Moon Dust in Dark Force. I'm just gonna be applying that with my finger. I have been loving this shadow lately because it's like a taupey kind of color, but it's got that reflex in it. So when you press it onto the eyelid with your finger, it leaves that glittery finish, but also it has that taupe kind of color. So it looks like you have already gone through and added a shading color to the crease. And I wouldn't often apply my eyeshadow with my finger, but because of the glittery reflex in this, it just works a little better this way. I'm just gonna take a soft, fluffy blending brush. This is the Morphe M511. Just tap the tiniest bit onto the tip of that same eyeshadow color and I'm just gonna run that through the crease very softly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but just to make sure that there isn't any lines and it's blended, because it doesn't matter how rushed you are, unblended eyeshadow is never a good look. Next, I'll grab my Nars number 12 brush and just sweep that eyeshadow underneath the lower lash line. Next, apply a ton of mascara. For brows, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Definer just because the applicator of this one is a little bit bigger, so you can get your brows done a lot quicker. So I'm just going to use a very soft press. This is just to fill in any sparse bits on my eyebrows. I don't want an overly harsh brow, especially since the makeup is a little more on the natural side. Use the spoolie end of the product just to brush the brows through. Just so you can see the difference of the shapes of the applicators. Obviously, the brow definer is a lot larger, so it's gonna take you a lot less time to do your eyebrows, whereas the brow wiz is very fine. So even though it is good at defining a little more, it's going to take you a lot longer to do your eyebrows. For cheeks lately, I've been using this Makeup Geek contouring color in Love Triangle. This kind of doubles up as a bronzer, contour, and cheek color just because it's nice and warm. Using the tip of the Smith 118 brush, I'm going to take the Ofra You Glow Girl highlighter. Because this highlighter isn't a super light shade, I'm actually just going to use it along the midpoint of my cheekbones just to make that blush bronzer color just a little more interesting and also add a highlight and glow to the cheeks. Just going to buff that bronzer down a little bit because I think I went a little crazy with it. So now that the face is done, I'm going to do lips. If I was super short on time, I'd probably use just a nudie colored cream lipstick, but I want to look like I put some effort into my makeup look, and the best way to do that is just by adding a bright pop of color onto the lips. So I'm going to use the Black Moon Cosmetics Deranged liquid lipstick. I'm using a darker liquid lipstick purely because it's just a one-step product. I don't have to use a lip liner with it. So there you have it, guys. Super quick, super easy. It looks like you put a little bit of effort in and you can hit that snooze button as many times as you want. They say that every girl should have a 5-minute face. I can't really nail it in 5 minutes, but this is my 10 to 12 minute face that I can kind of pop on before I rush out the door. I hope you guys that love sleep as much as I do have found this helpful. Thanks always for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week for my next video.